Everyone, and we are live on today's Heat Press for Profit podcast. We are reviewing success stories with STAHLS Spirit Sale online stores, and our guest today is Taz Gamell, and she is with Egads. And I am so excited to have her joining us today because let me tell you, when it comes to online stores, she's the master, and we're going to hear how she's turned creating online stores into a little side hustle, as well as bringing in more revenue and profit for Egads. So, Taz, thanks so much for joining us
Hi,
today.
Kelly. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just give everybody a quick background about Egads and tell us a little bit about your role as well.
All right. So Egads actually started in 1987. The owner Marvin, he's done just about everything you can think of. If you ask him if he's tried it, he's tried it. So he actually started off getting transfers from stalls and printing shirts at his little mini golf course, and that's how he eventually catapulted into a full-blown screen printing business. So Egads has been around for quite a while. We still obviously use transfers and use stalls quite a bit, which we love you guys. And I personally have been here since August of 2018. This is not my first time in a t-shirt shop. I've done this off and on since I was 14. So I'm kind of the one that everybody goes to when they have a question.
Yeah, so we were chatting just a little bit before we got started, guys. And let me tell you, Taz is the website and vinyl specialist, but this woman can do it all from selling designs, working the equipment. She knows how to go back there and work those screen printing presses. And of course, she is highly involved in website stores. Now, you did mention that Egads has been around for a long time, and 1987, I believe, is the year that Egads started. So, when you
Yes.
say a long time, it's not just 20 years, it's not just 30. We're talking, on that 40, 50 kind of spectrum. So, congratulations to Egads because that type of longevity has that speaks volumes itself. So, when you first joined with Egads, where were you guys in terms of web stores? Because Spirit Sale isn't a new thing to people. It's a new program. It's something new that Stalls has only been offering for a handful of years. But online stores, they've had their presence with different companies and brands. So when you started, what was Egads doing?
So actually, when I started, the owner had gone to a trade show several years before I started and bought a graph tack cutter. Nobody knew how to use it. I came in knowing how to use it. So when I started, we actually brought in vinyl from stalls and started doing that kind of stuff. So we were able to do some more like, shorter run team things. But weren't really into stores yet. After I had been here for a little while, I saw how many coaches came, and being an athlete myself, I remember having this issue growing up of coaches needing to order stuff, but everybody's a different size, everybody wants a different number. Like, how do we try to control that so that it's easier both on them as a coach or team mom and on us as the people who are going to be producing it? And so I originally started making the paper PDF order forms to send out for everybody to fill out, which is a hassle in and of itself. And then getting those back in, and I'm the one that has to, add up how many get this, and this number goes on this size, and they want it on a t-shirt and a hoodie and everything else. And it just is an insane amount of time that you're spending on something that eventually you're really not making money on because of the amount of time you're spending on it. So then I found out from stalls that you guys were doing spirit selling. And I'm like, okay, cool. We need to look into this. I actually went to a trade show in Charlotte a couple years ago. And so I met with some people from Order My Gear. And then at the stalls booth, they were talking about it. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. So that's when we started really getting into it. And at first we only did a couple stores here and there, but then once I got the hang of designing the store and getting it live, that's when we're like, okay, we can take advantage of this. We just have to figure out how to market it. and then how to actually produce everything so that we make sure we're staying accurate, but we want to have good quality products too.
So let's take it back for just really quick. I'm going to put you on the spot with PDFs. How long did it take you to create one?
Oh, man. Depending on what it was for, it would take me a few days, 3 or 4 days, sometimes a week, especially depending on how many variations they wanted.
Sure.
Because
Okay.
I wasn't doing just t-shirts. It was, you had a column for your t-shirt order. You got to choose your color and then your size. And then you had a column for hoodie, and you had a column for if you wanted to zip up or pants or whatever that particular team wanted. So it wasn't just a form with only t-shirt options. It was just like we do in Spirit Sale with having different options. It was that, but on paper.
Sure.
But limited because you can only fit so much on paper.
So when somebody would come to you now, in terms of a sales aspect of it, would you be the one that would go to customers and say, hey, listen, I really think that we should do a team form for you? Or, you're ordering this, but what if we went into sweatshirts, bags, everything else? Did they come to you? Did you go to them? How did those conversations start?
So once I figured out that, okay, they're wanting this, but I know, like, personally, again, from my experience, like, if I'm a kid, I don't just want a t-shirt, I'm going to want a hoodie too. So I kind of used my experience and created a prototype form
Cool.
to use with, my first customer was one of the high school's volleyball teams. And I was like, look, what if we did this? It's going to make it easier for you and give your parents and players a little bit more options. They loved it. It was a hit. So from there, then it was like every time somebody had anything to do with the team, we were pitching this. Like, okay, look, we can make you a form and you can use it, and then you're going to get more money in the process because you're going to sell more items. And you do. When you have options, people buy more things.
Is there, after doing this for several years now, right? So you started when you came on board, so 2018, 2019, and then as you started incorporating those PDFs, and then now you're into team stores. Are you guiding people down the path of, hey, this is really trendy, or this is what is selling, this is what we notice moves when we do team stores, versus them coming to you and going, I want 6 shirts, 2 sweatshirts, etc.?
Yes, so I actually have a list of items that I put on every single store, and then each team, if they want something specific outside of that, we add that onto it. But these are things that I see that are selling. So short sleeve t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt, crew neck sweatshirts, hoodie sweatshirts, and depending if the design allows, zip up hoodies.
Yeah.
So those youth and adult sizes are on every single one of my stores, unless the customer specifies otherwise. There's a couple of stores that we do that are business stores. Their options are going to be different than your school and team options. So for us, the school and team options will always have those items, and then we add on to it from there. So this year, I have seen tie-dye has been popular again, and pants have been super popular this year.
Pants.
Everybody's wanting pants.
I love
yes.
it. Is it
Yep.
like the jogger? Let's go trend for a second. Like joggers, sweatpants with like the banded bottom, flares. Our trends in retail have definitely shifted over the last year and a half. So what are you noticing for pants?
So I use that's the thing I love about Spirit Sale. I can add whatever I want to and however many items I want to.
Yeah.
So I have joggers, the regular open bottom, and the cuff bottom, or the stretchy bottom pants. So I have all of those. And then anybody that's actually a team, I also use athletic pants that have the zip bottoms because they really like those because they're easier for them to get on and off.
Sure. So you're going trend, comfort, and practicality in terms of,
yes,
whatever the sport is or the customer. So you have a list, right? You have these tried and true products that work for stores. We've talked about teams. We've talked about schools, because schools can also be teams, but then you've also got, club, all-star type of gym sports. And then you mentioned corporate. So what all business do you touch when it comes to team stores?
Anything and everything. We have a brewery that we do stuff for. We have a coffee shop that we do stuff for. With the with both of them, they have items that they sell in store, like with the brewery, pint glasses, things like that. With the coffee shop, their coffee they bag, all that's on their online store. I let them know when somebody buys it, and then I handle the shipping, and they just get a cutback from it.
That's
So that's a great thing, is even if they're selling something in store, with the fact that I can add a custom product, I mean, that coffee from our coffee shop, it goes all over the place.
That is awesome because it's not, you're really customizing the store as a true e-commerce platform. It's not just
Yes.
buying branded apparel. It's not just supporting, fan wear for a team. It's truly getting those products that your customer is also trying to move out to their customer. So we do have a question that came in from one of our viewers, Kelly. She asked, what type of volume do you need to have to make Spirit Sale cost effective?
Honestly, if you get, depending on your area, because obviously everything is area based. Like Kelly mentioned at the beginning, I've kind of gotten a side hustle where there's a few ladies that I create the stores for them. And so I get to see that in this area, their pricing is completely different than it is in my area. And that's kind of how it is. Like different areas have different pricing. But our Spirit Sale subscription paid for itself in the first two stores. So if you're really truly marketing it, especially to your schools and things like that, and then also your corporate. I mean, if you're marketing corporate, you've got to think. So our schools, we charge less than we do for corporate because corporate's going to have more money than a school typically would. And so I think really if you just go through 2 to 5 stores, you're going to be paying for it upfront, like already you're clearing your Spirit Sale cost. And then from there, you're making profit and word of mouth. Like you would not believe the amount of schools that contact us, say, hey, I saw this school store. We love it. Can we do it? I just had a school this month that wants a store for the rest of the year, and I've already gotten it set up and out, and they've already been ordering because they saw another cool store and they thought it was really cool, and it's a way for them to make money.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it's really about the visual aspect of it, right? They see it, they want it, you create it, and now
Yes.
you've pushed it out. So how many stores total do you have going right now?
So going at the moment, I have 3 time stores, and I have around 40 print to order stores that stay up year round or school year round. I have done close to 300 stores to date.
That's incredible. So with that many, right, there can be a lot of change. There can be a lot of customization. And I'll hit it again. You already have your product list that you know is tried and true. So when you are going in and say creating school stores or team stores for sportswear, are you kind of doing a, copy paste aspect and then changing branding elements to keep it efficient for you? Or do you just have all of these ideas that constantly come to your head?
It's a little bit of both. So it really kind of depends. If I'm more familiar with the school, because I'm not from this area, but I've been here for about 10 years now. If I'm more familiar with the school, then it's easier for me to be like, okay, cool, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this, and it's going to be awesome. If I'm not as familiar, then I'll pull the school colors and use a store that I've already made that has similar colors, and I will copy that store and then go from there on rebranding.
So it used to take you, a couple, 2, 3 days or a week in times to create that PDF. And so when you first started working with Spirit Sale, about how long did it take you to create your first store? Not knowing the program, the platform, be honest.
My first store, it took me a month, but it wasn't just on me going back and forth with the customer and trying to get all of this down of what they wanted. They kept changing their mind, and then I'd have to start all over on the store. It took me about a month to get that store up. Now I can have a store up in a day.
That speaks volumes, right? Because you said you've done over, 300 stores. The consistency of going after, the opportunity to build the store is huge. And once you get going into it, you've created this list that, you're no longer thinking about what needs to be done. It sounds like it's a natural form for you. It goes up, you know how you're going to load products, the designs, all of that aspects. It just took a little bit of trial and error, but now one day you can do a store in one day versus taking 3 days to create a PDF. And I assume that PDF, you were doing all of the manual calculation, or did somebody do that for
Yes.
you? Okay.
Nope, all me. Anything that has to do with any kind of a group order is me.
And so, Spirit Sale, how does that save you time on the back end? Because the front end on getting those sales, that's one amount of time. What about the back end?
It makes it so much easier. I cannot express this enough. The fact that I don't have to calculate, how many people got a used small black t-shirt and how many people got a hoodie and everything like that. It calculates everything for me. I can print the packing slips. I individually bag and label every single order, and those packing slips just make it so nice. And that has been something that has kept some of our customers coming back to the online stores, is the fact that they don't just get a box full of items that they then have to go through and sort themselves. The fact that I individually bag and label everything saves them time. And
Yeah.
it only takes me a little bit longer.
Now,
So, I mean, that really helps sell it.
is that a service you offer? Meaning, people can maybe pay a little different if they want that, or is that just something that you provide because that's the type of work you provide?
That's just who I am. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just, to me, it's more professional and it just looks better. Not knocking if you don't do it. I
Yeah.
just, for me, especially because I got that little bit of OCD, like it's got to be done right. It's got to look good.
And you know what? Even if people do charge for it, they have the ability to run the business, the way they want to. And if they see that they can capitalize on having, special little customization items in terms of the packing and how they're doing that, then that's awesome, right? That's amazing. If it's just part of your business day in and day out, then that's just another element that, keeps people wanting to either recommend or continue to work with you. Now, when it comes to fulfillment of those orders, how do you manage that with the amount of stores that you have?
So anything that is a time store, I don't order any of the blanks. We don't process orders. And when I say process orders, I mean I'm not actually going in and looking at orders to be able to order the blanks and put everything in a production group. I don't do that until the store closes. What I will do is the Wednesday before, I always close my stores on Sunday nights so that I can order everything on a Monday. And so the Wednesday before store closes, I will shoot that person, my point of contact, a list of who has ordered. And that way they know, especially when it comes to All Stars, family reunions, things like that.
Yeah.
It's a big deal to not have to worry about getting an order late. So I
Yeah.
send that list of, these are the people that have ordered. If somebody's not on there, you need to contact them. They only have till Sunday. And then I order everything on Monday, and we normally have everything out within 2 weeks. With our print to order stores, same thing. I order on Monday mornings. It just makes it easier for me to keep everything together. And then as those items come in, we're printing them and getting them back out.
Now, Egads as a whole offers screen printing, embroidery, vinyl, patches, emblems. Do you offer all of those services on your team stores as well?
Yes, we do. So any kind of team store, if it's a one or two color design, it's going to be screen printed. If it's something like a full color pant design, which I've been getting into since I've added all the pants on everything, that's where the DTF that STAHLS offers, the Ultra Color Max, that has come in so clutch for me, because I can now offer these full color school mascot logos on the pants, and people are loving them, and I can order however many I need. So I already have, a few extras here, and I can print those as they come in instead of having to change platens and set up a completely different screen in order to print pants. Sorry.
Yeah, there's have there been moments where you've had stores where you thought an item would perform better and maybe you were using one decoration method and financially you just thought it was smarter to switch to another? Have you guys had to do that at all?
Yes, definitely. And this kind of goes back to the question that Ms. Kelly asked about, how's it going to pay for itself? There are some stores that are not going to work. I'm not going to lie. There's some stores that it doesn't end up being as cost effective and as fruitful as you would like. In those instances, we do change tactics a little bit, and we'll go either to screen printed transfers, or now that DTF is a thing, we've gone to that as well. Patches for anything that's like crazy embroidery. We use patches. We use a lot of patches for our hats, things like that. But there have been a few stores even recently where there's a couple designs on the store and one just does not sell and it's a full color design and like 3 people bought it. Well, I'm not gonna, knock those 3 people because they wanted that design. So we go in and we do change our tactics and we go with the transfer instead for those.
Awesome. So it's really just about understanding at what point maybe you need to pivot to still produce the product on the customer expectation, right? Because nobody likes to see something and order it, and then they get it and they're like, "This is not what the picture looked like," or it looked different. So you're still maintaining that integrity as a decorator as well. Now, with all of these stores and for as long as that you've been doing them, can you talk or speak a little bit to, you know, how much those stores have brought in and really kind of how it separates the overall business?
I will say that Spirit Sale saved us during COVID. I mean, we have been around for a long time, and with not being able to be in person and everything, the fact that we could still produce things and people could shop online was a huge deal for us during COVID, and that really saved us financially. I know in last year alone, 2022, we made about $144,000 in online sales alone, and that's revenue that we would not have otherwise. My all-star stores, those things go up really quickly and come down really quickly. It's a quick turnaround because it's something they know at the last minute. Last year, I think we were up about $12,000 on all-star stores. And that's just because of giving them those options of more than just a t-shirt.
Yeah, and that's the quick turns too, right? So it's less
Yes.
time you touch them. So time is money, money is time. And if you look at those with the stores that go right up and they come down, and you already saw an increase, then I think that is a huge shout out to what you have been able to accomplish as the front runner for all of those stores, and what I called you the general manager of Egads when we were chatting, right before. But so I want to make sure that we also quickly talk about what you have started in terms of creation for other stores, because I think that also speaks volumes to the fact that, can you hear me okay? I know you're switching.
Hang on one second. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just have
No, it's fine. I can see it, so I
technical.
wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Are you good?
All right, we're good.
Okay. Well, what was the last thing you heard, just to make sure?
You had started off on something and I didn't get any of it.
Okay, cool. So I want to make sure that we also highlight what you have created in terms of a side hustle, because you said when you first started with teen stores, the first one would take you about a month, and that's just getting truly comfortable with the platform and understanding everything that you can do on it, because it's not just a PDF, right, where you add your grids or your pictures, your prices. There's more that goes into it. And people have reached out to you or asked you for support in creating their stores. So talk a little bit about the fulfillment side, and I know Egads supports you in this. So just really how you've now added website design for others.
Yeah, so I have 3 ladies that I currently do consistently. Anytime they need something, they shoot me an email, whether it's a change to a store they already had or a change to a store I've made. I take care of it as soon as I possibly can. They pay me directly. I do have one that has now switched to where we at Egads are fulfilling the items. So I'm creating the store and fulfilling and shipping the items to her for her to distribute. And so Egads now gets a kickback from it. But even so, like my boss is amazing, and he has always been, if you have a way to make extra money, go for it. And so with these people and anybody really on Spirit Sale, anytime they reach out, I try to, answer and help as quickly as I can. But it has helped me bring in a little bit of revenue for myself, just and also being able to give back and help, because not everybody has time. I mean, it is something that can be time consuming if you're not consistently using it. It does take you a little bit to get into it.
Yeah.
And so I don't feel like I charge a lot. They don't feel like I charge a lot to set up a store, and I'm available all the time for them. And I mean, these 3 women that I help right now are amazing and are always asking for something, which is great. I love that they always need something.
Yeah, you've become this decorator, right? Like your Egads is a decorator, and you offer fulfilled orders now in terms of fulfillment with stores. So it's really kind of interesting how you've pivoted, or an added service kind of took it into a whole other bubble of opportunity, simply because of the skill that you've embraced. You took it, you ran with it, and now people are going to you. So to kind of wrap up our conversation, what is one thing that you would recommend, or like to give feedback in, for those that are just kind of questioning online stores, team stores, what programs or platforms to use?
I have looked at a couple other ones. I haven't personally used any other ones, but by far I think Spirit Sale is amazing. Their customer service is exceptional. They're always available, if you have an issue, and I sometimes have issues. It's still something that they're building on. They're constantly growing, which is awesome. I mean, the fact that they are constantly working to build this program is in and of itself just incredible. But I'd love the fact that you have this option to give your customers, and if you explain it the right way, you can show them that in the long run, they're going to make more money with this. Fundraising, I mean, we do fundraising stores all the time. We had a young lady that had ovarian cancer, and we raised $3,000 within a few weeks. So use that as a selling point. If it's something like that, if it's a family reunion, hey, you don't have to worry about gathering all your orders. Use the different things geared toward your customer to help you sell this, and it will sell itself. Once you learn what to say and how to talk to your customers with it, it's going to sell itself. And I definitely recommend, if you're going to go into Spirit Sale, they have a huge database of training videos. Use the training videos. They explain so much, and it's so helpful. Or use the Spirit Sale Facebook group and ask questions. Everybody on there is super helpful. I'm not the only one that's knowledgeable in it. There are tons of other people that are more than willing to help.
And guys, the Facebook group she's talking about is the Heat Press for Profit Facebook group, and Taz is a member in that community. And like she said, it's one of those people are always ready and willing to help. Now, I do have to back up Taz here. We've got Kevin said he's used numerous platforms, and Spirit Sale is the easiest and best looking I've used by far. So Kevin, thank you so much for commenting that as we are live, because sometimes, it's just nice to hear it from those that are actually using the product, the platform, day in and day out. Now, Taz, if anybody wants to reach out to you, check out Egads, what's the best way to get a hold of you or just kind of connect with you?
So they can go to our website, which is Egads, which is EGADSOBX.com. You also, if you go there, you will see a lot of my print to order stores are on there. as well as my email, which is egads, EGADS online @gmail.com.
Awesome. And if you guys, if anybody is curious, you can schedule a free demo of Spirit Sale. You can go to STAHLS.com, search for Spirit Sale, and within that tab, you can schedule your demo right there. I'm also going to pop up that link for Facebook. Okay. Any last words, Taz?
I just want to thank you for letting me be a part of this. And I just want to thank STAHLS for continuing to always be the best in the business and continuing to help us, even smaller, larger companies that are trying to keep our customers happy.
Well, Taz, let me just tell you that you've been a delight, and I have truly loved getting to know you and just see everything that you've accomplished since you have been at Egads. It's pretty awesome to be able to say you are I called her a one-stop shop in terms of Egads, because she can do it all. So you guys, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can connect with us in our community at the Heat Press for Profit Facebook group. And of course, you can connect with us on YouTube with STAHLS TV. Taz, thank you again so much for taking a moment out of your day to chat with me. And for all of viewers tuning in live or listening later, thanks so much. And we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.